Good morning, Year 3. Welcome to our reading lesson. And I hope you're all well and ready to begin your work. Thank you to everyone who has been emailing their work in this week. It's greatly appreciated by all of us, and it is interesting and enjoyable to see how well you are all doing. So let's first of all make sure that you are ready to start. Have your pencil or your pen and paper ready to go. Use the pause button if you need to. Let's do a recap on setting descriptions. Which feature shows where or when something is in relation to something else? Is that a preposition, an adverb, fronted adverbial phrase, or expanded noun phrase? Which sentence contains an expanded noun phrase? I don't believe you. Adam sailed through the ocean. The brave, fearless girl stood up. Or he ate a banana, orange, apple, and carrot. I should be saying the numbers, shouldn't I? So 1, 2, 3, or 4. Number 3, tick 2 sentences that have a fronted adverbial phrase. 1, as fast as she could, she ran upstairs. Number 2, without hesitation, they jumped on the ship. Number 3, she followed her mum with a huge smile. That's a good test of fronted adverbials. Tick 2 sentences that have a fronted oh dear me, that's a repeat. I apologise. Leave that one out. Right, the last one then. Tick all the key features of a setting description. Can you remember them all from the previous lesson? So it does say tick 6. That'll be a good challenge. I'm going to give you time to select those. So I'll count to 10 in my head, and then if I start marking, you can always press the pause button. Right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So number 1, it is a preposition. Number 2, an expanded noun phrase. Remember, you need a noun with adjectives to describe the noun. And it's number 3, the brave, fearless girl. Brave and fearless are the adjectives. Number 3, the 2 sentences that are fronted adverbial are 1 and 2. As fast as she could, without hesitation. And the last one, tick all the key features of a setting description. Prepositions, definitely. Subheadings, no. Describe the sentence, yes. Rhyming couplets, no. Expanded noun phrases, yes. Numbered steps, no. List of equipment, no. Adverbs, yes. Fronted adverbial phrases, yes. Headline, no. Apostrophe for possession, yes. Well done. If you can remember these features as you're writing, you will instantly think, I need to use a fronted adverbial here. I need to show an apostrophe for possession. If you can't remember them, just have a list of them next to you as you write. That will always be a really good strategy. And that will always happen normally when you're in class. You can have them in front of you so you remember to include them in your normal writing. Let's move on. So tomorrow is a writing task. You will write a setting description in role as a junior engineer who designs and constructs their own robots. So once again, yesterday we went through identifying key features of a setting. We've just been through them. You need to get to grips with those and make sure you remember some of these. Magpie them. Ideas can't always be original ideas. It's okay to borrow or use or magpie other people's ideas. as long as you don't copy everything that they've written. You take small parts of what other people may have written and you can use them or change them slightly and put them in your writing. Okay, so what is a fronted adverbial? Well, you can see in the word fronted, we have the root word or base word front, and they essentially go at the front of the sentence. So fronted adverbials are words or phrases placed at the beginning of a sentence. They give detail about time, place, or manner. Okay, and they are followed by a comma, and that normally is the giveaway. So let's look at the examples. If it's to do with time, it'll be when it is done or when it happened or when it might happen. Place, where is it done? And manner, how is it done? So how do we make sense of that? So the first highlighted fronted adverbial is for months, comma. That is a time element. So that gives us an idea of how long something's been happening. And then the second fronted adverbial, across the floor. That's to do with place. It indicates, it's a preposition, indicates where in the room or on the floor the items are. In the center of the workshop, that's another fronted adverbial related to place. We know that the creative masterpiece, the girl's robot, is in the center of the workshop. And then we have surrounding the giant iron beast. So that gives us an indication of what it is. And it's really to do with place as well, because there are things near to the robot. Buzzing and hissing, comma. Well, that's to do not with time, not with place, it's to do with manner. There's noise happening. So that's an indicator of the noise that's occurring in the room, which goes with manner, how it's done. And then without hesitation in the second paragraph, without hesitation, which means that the girl does it instantly. She doesn't wait. So that is to do with time. She does it quickly. That's basically what she does. So fronted adverbials, they're going to be an important part of your writing for the rest of your school life until you stop going to school and you stop doing English. So let's have a look at some examples. In the center of the workshop, the girl's creative masterpiece stood proudly. The fronted adverbial phrase gives detail on the place or where it's happening. So, directly opposite the wooden table, the girl's creative masterpiece stood proudly. Could we write these in a different way? Well, we could. We could have in the middle of the workshop, at the heart of the workshop, next to large wheel, beside the machines, underneath the steaming pipes. These are all possible fronted adverbials to show place and where the event or situation is happening. So these are fronted adverbials that you could try and remember so that you can put them in your writing automatically without thinking too hard about it. All of a sudden, the robot's bulging eyes began to flicker brightly, but sadly, the room was filled with silence. Don't forget, after the fronted adverbial, you need a comma. So all of a sudden means the same as instantly. It all happened instantly. But they are good fronted adverbials to have. You could have suddenly, all of a sudden, in a flash. They would all be appropriate in this situation. So you can have a go at rewriting the sentence with an appropriate fronted adverbial, but let's move on. Just keep in mind you could use a number of different fronted adverbials that mean the same thing. Okay, another example. For months she had hidden herself away to work secretly on her creation. The fronted adverbial phrase gives detail on the time. So time in terms of how long she has been hidden away. And then we have the next fronted adverbial, which we could replace with months if we wanted. For several weeks she had hidden herself away to work secretly on her creation. Or we could have alternatives to those. For weeks and weeks she had hidden herself away. For what felt like forever, day after day, over time, for a while, for ages, for an eternity, for such a long time. They would all be possible fronted adverbials you could use. So here's the Iron Man. I'm going to put them up there, two paragraphs up, and I've highlighted the fronted adverbials as the sun rose. So if the sun's rising, it's happening very early in the morning. That's when the sun rises. That's when we see it rising on the horizon. All around the town, at once, finally, below. Those are the fronted adverbials I've highlighted. This is your task. Replace the underlined fronted adverbials in the text with an appropriate fronted adverbial. What's another way of saying as the sun arose? What's another way of saying all around the town? At once. Finally, below. We did some work on synonyms during the week. They would be useful in this situation. What is happening next? Okay, this is your final activity of the day on fronted adverbials. Fronted adverbials can be added to a sentence to describe location. They tell the reader where something takes place. For example, in class, the boy sat listening to his teacher. Where did it happen? In class. Who did it happen to? The boy who was listening to the teacher. So we also have fronted adverbials give us additional information. Fronted adverbial plus additional or extra information. So we get in class, and the extra information is about the boy, what the boy is doing, and the other character in the situation. So we have the boy sitting and listening, and the teacher doing the teaching while the boy sits and listens. Where are they when this happens? In class. Right, the first part of this activity, in a forest, find an appropriate sentence on the right-hand side. In a forest, the fish swam. Now that definitely doesn't make sense, so they don't go together. In a forest, quickly, definitely don't match up. Get the idea? So match the sentence with the appropriate sentence. So you're going to get extra information that matches with the fronted adverbial. And there is a challenge below. Add a fronted adverbial to each of these sentences to explain where they might happen. So we have, think of the fronted adverbial, Emma ate delicious ice cream. I would say that's a location thing, definitely. Where did she eat the ice cream? Number 2, the lion loudly roared. So location, where does this happen? And then thirdly, the car beat its horn. Where did this happen or take place? Thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing your work. Thank you once again for been so good at emailing your work in and working so very hard. I appreciate it immensely, and I'm very proud to say that you have done a wonderful job over this long period of time. So I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Take care. Be safe. Bye for now.